Hi, it is I, Helimod, and we have Sir Fainal Oremor. Yay! This is a redo, okay?
Yeah, why it is a redo? Me
Because
too.
I didn't record the audio for Fainal, so when I went to upload it, Fainal, um, it's his fault.
No, it's not my fault. It's completely your fault.
No, you weren't talking loud enough, so it didn't pick you up.
No, it looks like you were talking to yourself for like 2 hours. What are we gonna talk today?
We're gonna talk about class ranks. Yay! Not how to sound
Epic.
more unenthused. So class ranks have been out since Tuesday, so 3 days, and we wanted to start a discussion on them.
Well, we wanna continue the discussion because the discussion is already real
True.
and alive.
Yeah. So here we are at Borrow Point where everybody's farming, and our first talking point is if it is lazy content or not. If it is
Yeah.
just filler content.
What do you think about that, Mitsu? Or do you want me to give context first?
I'll give my thoughts and yeah. So I think it is filler content because at no point in time was this ever a thing that they wanted to do.
True.
But Sandsea is taking a long time to come out,
And the
and
Tower of Necromancy as well.
those two were supposed to be out by now. Well, maybe not both, but one of them at least.
The Tower, at least.
So they're taking their time, and they gave us something to do, which I'm not complaining about, but there are some improvements that could have been made before it went to live. And so I don't think it's necessarily lazy. I think it's a good improvement, but I do think it is it was unneeded before, but now we have it, so not a whole lot else to say about that.
Yeah, now everyone is going crazy about it and keep ranking ranks.
Yep.
So what's it? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I saw someone with pirate in the background. I saw someone with warrior in the background. I saw someone with moglomancer in the background. You know, people are going crazy.
Yeah, a berserker over there. So what's the context about this whole thing? So when we first discussed this, the issue with this whole topic was that when it was introduced in a really poor manner, because instead of like being given as a side note with a dev, usually Artix or even Glycel or Cicero, explaining what's gonna be the point of the class ranks 100, we just got a sneaky update on the game plan. Remember, Mitsu?
Yep.
And that sparked the whole conversation.
Right.
So I'm gonna show you a tweet that pretty much started it. One from Lunaceria, I think.
Yep.
Which
Just the
she tweeted.
Carluna.
Yeah, she tweeted my thoughts on class ranks while lacking some context. Hey, oh hey, look, a new rank with new potential to eclipse the Battleheim's farm as the most mindless, boring task in AQ3D. Yay, something to do with a little face. Obviously, that was a sarcastic remark.
Yeah.
But that tweet, that tweet inspired a lot of discussions, even having responses from Dej himself.
Sage basically said that he wanted to do a system that was like Monster Hunter, so that you never have an end and you'd always have the ability to rank something up.
Precisely. Since in Monster Hunter you have like this never-ending grind of ranking of like your hunter or something amongst those like
Yeah, I played
that you're
it.
not supposed to. I think perfect. So that you're not actually supposed to finish, right, or to actively grind.
Yeah,
Just to
you're not supposed to get to the end. You're just supposed to get to a point where you can do the last bit of content that the game offers.
Mhm. So that's what Dage based this whole pitch, this whole concept, because it was Dage's idea, Dage's pitch that he fought. Well, in his word, fought, but that was the thing that he pitched to the devs and tried to fight for this. So most of the information on that time we got it from him on Twitter, like replying to
Really
stuff.
weird thinking about
Now,
it.
yeah, exactly, really weird. Because it could have been better, much better in a design note, explained carefully. That was like the first big mistake the developers did with this whole situation.
Yep. All right. Moving on to the second point, or unless you wanted to add anything else, or are we good?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Very first introduction to proper endgame grind. It's not.
No, okay. So as you can see, and you will be seeing by through the whole podcast, Mitsu and I once again have very different point of views on the discussion at hand. Because I think it is a proper introduction to endgame grind.
I
Not
think it
maybe the
isn't.
best endgame.
Because endgame should have a reward that benefits your character, and this is just cosmetic.
True.
So
True.
there's no, if if endgame is to look cool, then yes, but it's not really. There could have been a lot more, but there's just
Yeah,
one piece of armor every 5 ranks to rank 50.
definitely. Because endgame grind, even though the looks are important when you're grinding for a powerful weapon, the weapon usually has a good taste on it. It's a polished model, has good effects on it, but that's not the main point of grinding the weapon or the item in the end game grind. It's
Right.
the what it benefits your character, what matters the most, right?
Like exotics from Destiny, legendary gear from the Division. Those are all
The Destiny
items.
weapons.
Oh, yep. I really wouldn't really count the necrotic staff of Doom because it doesn't really fit what the other games have made the Doom weapons out to be. Even in AQW, getting the Shadow Reaper of Doom isn't easy.
Gives no, yeah. But does the Shadow Reaper of Doom in AQW gives any kind of buff or
No.
stats or anything? Oh, that's lame.
Yeah. It is pretty lame, but it's still a hard farm. So this is just, I wouldn't consider this endgame. I'd consider it filler content. This is what you do
Totally.
in between releases.
True. True. And that was one of the points that they were explaining once now we know about more details about the whole thing because RTX constructed a design note trying to explain the whole point. Cicero also tried to write some tweets. But at the point when we first started this discussion, we had like no info whatsoever. We had to scramble. I had to scramble for information to get to understand what the hell was going on in here. Now that the thing is in live, it's more clear. But why do I think this is a proper introduction to endgame, or maybe not proper, but an introduction per se? It's because of the level of difficulty. Since this is given, this is just cosmetics. It's nothing affecting your power level, nor your stats or your character, or anything of the like. The amount of hours that it takes and the difficulty is by far, I think, the longest it will take in any of the other content in game to achieve. The only thing that is comparable to what we have right now is either leveling up from rank 1 to to level 1 to max level, or locking all classes without buying them, or the Doom staff, the staff of Doom from the Island of the Dead. But this is like by far much more grindier and longer and supposed to be like an end game or like a long-term grind instead of something that you can get in one sitting. That's what I think is a proper introduction to like give the players, the player base, which is especially casual base on this case, on the AQ3D case, a taste of what it is an end game grind or a long-term grind.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you can do day one unless you are surfing Oremor twice.
Okay, look. I'm wearing my Guardian sword and my Paladin helm, but I didn't do it in one sitting. I did it in 3 days, farming with friends. So I did it as I was intended to do. And the only reason I did it this way is because I actually was having a lot of fun. I don't know if you can blame me for that.
I thought you were the anti-fun.
True, but yeah. That's a fair statement.
No, I still don't consider endgame even with all of that because it's not hard. It's not hard to get, right? So, like, it doesn't give you any stats. It's not, like, cosmetic items shouldn't usually be endgame.
True. That's a given. Cosmetic items
Right.
shouldn't be in game.
Like, End game should be along the lines of you and your friends, have to do something incredibly hard to get a stat upgrade, or even better, like a stat bonus.
Exactly. Any kind of power progression whatsoever.
And so and then once you, sorry, okay, I just mumbled my words. So when you get to that power progression, once you get to a certain point, then it becomes easier and easier and easier. And usually what keeps it going at that point is that the players who know, like who've mastered the art of endgame, can help the other players get to endgame. And then when they release new content, the endgame players, right? Because at some point there has to be like an endgame, right? So they're always going to be releasing new content. But at some point when there is a refined endgame, and players with the best items in the game will have it easier than those who don't. And I think that's something essential for all MMOs if you want to have any sort of competitiveness to it.
Yeah. But endgame is not always competitive from a player standpoint, right? It doesn't have to be competitive all the time. Me too.
Yeah, no. You're definitely not
But
wrong.
but in this case, it's kind of competitive because a new system was introduced with like stars that has some kind of ranking, and I think they borrowed this idea from Epic Tool. I was talking to one of my friends, DKT, and he said that in Epic Tool they have the same system, like with stars, or like that you unlock whenever you accomplish some specific achievements, and you get like bronze stars or silver, gold, platinum, similar to the League of Legends
Rank system.
rank system. Exactly. So we have definitely a competitive aspect on it, which is the ranks, the stars. For example, right now Mitsuo has 1 bronze star on his character. Whenever he reaches 100 more class ranks, he's gonna get a secondary star, which is gonna be bronze as well. When he reaches 4 stars, one of his stars is gonna change color to another color. Each stars represent 100 ranks, and whenever you keep accumulating stars, you keep gaining more stars, and your stars changing color. So that's like a status symbol, I guess, like a ranking system in the game, which is competitive, and I like seeing that kind of depth into the game.
Right, whoever has
Instead
more
of just
stars is better at the game. Well, not better at the game, but has put more time into the game.
yeah, exactly. Has been playing longer. It was more of a hardcore player, not exactly better because we don't get any power reward from doing this, which is
Right.
one of the main criticisms.
If they added a power reward, this would be very good endgame, but of course they wouldn't do that.
But why? Why they wouldn't do that? Do you want to discuss that?
Well, I could sum it up for you in 2 words, okay? Casual
go ahead.
players.
Yeah, pretty true.
So to give context, they didn't want to add power to the ranking system because they didn't want people who don't spend 10 hours a day on the game to be behind in power. So it would completely ruin the balance of the game. So they need to have something that isn't as grind stake. For now anyways, they need to have something that isn't as grindy, that everybody can get to. And when they finally introduce proper end game, and I know that word goes around a lot, and it doesn't really mean a whole lot because we're not at end game. We're not at the end of the story. There's still a whole lot to do, but at some point, there's gonna have to be a task that you could only do with the best gear in the game. Because if you're any lower of a power level, you'll die faster, or you can't do it in general. I think if they gatekeep certain content for certain power, I think that would be really great. Because then there'd always be something to work for. But I think people might disagree with me on that one.
No, I like your idea. I like that. For example, I really don't like level scaling because everyone at level 3 can pull more aggro or deal more damage than full level. if all the areas are level scaled, right? So it makes
Right.
no sense grinding for end gear.
I PvP'd on my level 5 alt and I killed the level 30 in the level skilled area.
Yeah, that's for real. We actually did that in the social district, and he was. What was your account level?
5.
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That
that's a
is
topic
crazy.
for another day. The
Yeah.
progress with level scaling. But
Problems with
there is
levels.
something similar to that, to what you were mentioning about gatekeeping some content. Like in Darkovia, for example, when you're doing the storyline, which you have to do alone, the final boss, the Vampire King, uh, if you have crappy gear, no matter the level you are, you won't be able to beat it. A lot of people get stuck in there because they, in a casual play time, they don't grind gear because the game is so easy that they don't need the gear, or they don't need to grind for gear because, okay, this is really easy. Why should I be grinding for gear? I better get to max level and then focus about grinding. And that will be true, except for that exception, the Vampire King in Darkovia, because if you don't have proper gear or a least decent gear with some potions, you won't be able to beat that fight, and you're gonna be stuck in there.
Right. And this is you know, that just leads into the issues with every time they release content, the level goes up. Level cap goes up. And so I think going forward, we're going to have to reach a point where the level cap doesn't go up every time they release content, but the stats do. Or, in my opinion, anyways.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why they didn't make this whole class ranking reward power, because a lot of players wanted that, with fair reason. They wanted to get power levels or their skills to be more powerful, or just get some that the legendary gear due to being legendary, you have some kind of skills attached to it instead of just being cosmetic with no skill whatsoever.
Right?
I mean, stats whatsoever.
Look at RuneScape. What does ranking up your skills in RuneScape accomplish, right? I mean, I know it's not necessarily the same, but every rank gives you something new that makes you stronger. And then at the very final rank, it's cosmetic. You get a cape. You get a mastery cape. And like in this, you know, if there was just more rewards overall and not just an armor set, I think it'd be a way better system. I wish they'd put more time into it prior.
Yeah, that's the thing. It seemed, even though Dage has been pitching and fighting for this for a very long time, it seemed once again a little bit rushed.
Yeah.
In the developing department.
Right. It was only on the PTR for a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, around 2 weeks.
And then the armor sets. Let's see. Just to give me a time. I'll use Winnie as an example. Winnie's first upgrade set. She posted July 23rd. How far? So 1, 2, 3 weeks ago. So it's been in development for at minimum a month. And it just doesn't see. I wish there was just more rewards overall. That's all I want. That's all I ask for.
Yeah. I mean, you can check. Look at your class menu. If you go to the class menus and select any class, if you go to ranks, they added like the new stuff, right? Rank 15, 20, 25, etc. All the way until 100 when you unlock the title. Imagine the same stuff, but instead of just the gear, actual power level.
Right. You know, like, so rank 15, you get this. Rank 18, you get power. You get, like, slightly more damage on your smash skill. Rank 30, you get the Berserker Helm. And then at rank 32, you get more AoE damage on your second skill. Right. And if they capped it out at 50, because as we've seen and as you personally experienced, you can do this in a day. So if you put a little amount of time towards it every single day, you can get it done. Or if you just played the game, right?
Precisely.
And so, I understand that you don't need more power to do the game's current end content. right? Because I before this came out, I've been able to do Tengu. I've been able to do Dorkovia. I've been able to do Tengu. So I guess I understand where they're coming from. So hopefully in the future, when they introduce new systems like this that like actually matter,
Mhm. Yeah.
they'll focus on power progression, because if you, like I said earlier, if you reach a certain point in the game and you're not powerful enough because you don't have everything up, then that's good. Like that's good game design, because then there's always something to work for, especially for like an MMO. And I know they want to appeal more to casual players than hardcore players. They're doing the Destiny 2, the Destiny 2
Yeah,
move.
precisely. That's the thing. I think that's kind of it's good to achieve some balance between both demographic, because it's good to tend to the casual players, because if you pander to them and have something from them to come back or to actually like and engage, you're gonna be getting new players. And the game has the ability to grow. But at the end of the day, it's the hardcore players, the ones that stay. People like you and me too, who have been playing for years and not for like just a couple of weeks or a couple of months, like most of the new player base that
Right.
are uh, more willing to just drop the game and not playing anymore. It's that loyal fan base that needs to have some kind of reward. And this was like this situation with Clash Rank was something like in the middle, something like the hardcore players could do without being overpowered, and at the same time, it offers the casual players something to keep looking forward without having to wait too much until a new release if they even finish all the stuff that there is in games. Considering these are the casual players, right?
Very true. Very true. So hopefully in the next couple of years we reach a point where the level is capped forever,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because level grinding can't be in game all like the whole like throughout the whole game process, because
Exactly.
there's what ends up happening is everybody gets to the cap, and then what?
Yeah. Good
So,
point.
all right, on to the next point, because don't want to go off on a tangent too long.
The
All
next
right.
point is the PTR role, phishing and rival role on the whole thing, and the depth vision.
Okay. So, as far as I know, Fizzin and Rabu have
Uh-huh.
been very receptive when
Yes.
it comes to game balance.
Exactly. For people that don't know, Fusion and Rebel are the admins of the PTR Discord and the PTR server, where everything that is supposed to come into the game, especially mechanics wise, goes into testing first, so the testers and the players that want to test can experience it in there, see if there is any bugs or is anything is broken, and they can report it, or they can give feedback on what they think could be um, a better approach on the content itself, or the new mechanics or the new class or anything that you would like to to address with fair reason.
So, I highly recommend, if you have the spare time and you are bored, anytime they do update new content, the more player feedback they get, the more it'll get changed into perfection. Unless the area that gives you double XP gets nerfed for some odd reason.
Yeah,
Mm,
out of nowhere.
mm-hmm.
So let me explain the depth vision. So when we first started this, before we had this thing was released 2 weeks prior, uh, there was like 3 waves of players that were discussing with each other in the PTR. It was a heated discussion, to be honest. Some of them were pushing for this grind.
Are you there?
To elaborate on the depth vision, what was the whole purpose of the depth on how to implement this? When this patch first came out in the PTR Discord, 2 weeks prior before being introduced here in game, and there were like 3 main waves or people or point of views of players in the PTR. One of them were pushing for making this grind achievable in 24 hours, or like something that you can get in one sitting, in one day, maybe two, maybe three, like getting to rank 100 if you want to in a couple of hours. Similar to all the content we have gotten already, but not to that extent. Just a little bit harder, just a little bit, but nothing too over the top. There was this secondary point of view, which I was a part of, that this should be hard, not achievable in 24 hours, and that the devs should have made sure that this wasn't something that you can get in one sitting, considering what they have said. And there was a tier wave of players who wanted this, which was the most look over. They wanted the difficulty to stay the same between rank 10 and rank 100, meaning that it will take you the exact same amount to rank 100, and each rank above rank 10 as the same amount it took you to get to rank 10, from rank 9 to rank 10. The exact same amount, the same difficulty, which it was a minority, but it was still present. And of course, people didn't pay much attention to it because it was like the lazy way out. Gladly, the dev vision was the second point of view, that this thing shouldn't be achievable in one sitting, in one grind session.
Meanwhile,
but something that you need to keep working on it, and that you are not encouraged to actively grind in one sitting, but to keep doing it long term, whenever you have free time, whenever you have a grind party, whenever you're bored, or just playing the game naturally, organically, which means this thing should have been not impossible, but hard enough, or really hard, at least.
Where I think they... Honestly, I think it should have been even harder.
You think so?
I do think so. I don't think rank 50 should be doable in a day either, but it is.
Yeah, for those though that haven't reached rank 50 already, I grinded with my friends and my guild, and I made it in like around 13 hours. 13.
No boosts
But
besides what he crafted.
No, I was using boosts. I was using 50% and 25% boost. But I didn't take it seriously. Like, I wasn't grinding to be the better man, or the fastest one.
Yeah,
I was just grinding it because I was having. Yeah, I was just grinding it because I was having fun. I was taking breaks, like going to eat dinner, taking naps, just resting with my friends, or just talking in voice chat.
I keep giving you a lot of shit about it.
Yeah, precisely. Mitsuo was harassing me about it, so. But it was a really relaxed grind. Yeah, it's really good. It's a really good story. I don't regret it, but it was a really relaxed grind. So it wasn't anything hardcore, like, oh, you need to be the best one to achieve this. No. So it definitely could have been harder, because, like, if you had a good party and you know what you were doing and you had the free time and the energy, and were having fun, you could get through this at least rank 50 in a breeze, like no struggle whatsoever. From 50 above, that's another story though. That's completely different.
Unless you're Zane.
Yeah, unless you're Zane.
No, you remember that picture I showed you of the Berserker armor earlier?
Yeah.
That was a picture from Zane's Twitter, and he had Master Berserker title.
Yeah, but he's a tester. He can load that into his character.
That's why I cut off the name in the title, but it was still too obvious.
Yeah, it was too obvious. The other thing that it came to mind is that the devs wanted to achieve this vision, to make this thing not grindable in one sitting. They had to balance a lot of stuff, right? They had to balance grinding, because there are a lot of experienced players, or the more hardcore players, knows that were a lot of broken areas, XP wise or goal wise. A lot of them, especially the level skill areas, or places like Camp Gonna Get Ya, even the same place we're right now, Barrow Point, the random adventures, and people that did not know. For example, Mitsuo was one of them. I was testing these things out, and I showed Mitsuo how broken the experience was in here, and he lost his mind, right, Mitsuo?
Yeah, okay, so to give you an idea, I'm just gonna go over each class real quick. Alright, I ranked Guardian from 9 to 10. I ranked Pirate from 9 to 10. I ranked Necromancer from 3 to 10. I ranked Ninja from 1 to 10, and I ranked Muglin from 1 to 10. And how many hours did that take? 3. It took me 3.
That's 4 classes that he was able to max out
Yep.
with these broken areas.
I used boosts, and I think I was getting 2.5 times XP.
Yeah, that's the thing. When a lot of the PTR testers, which I would like to give a shout out to Asturion because he was one of the most active testers in there. He was testing the difficulty of this thing, if it was achievable or no. He wanted to make it to be easier and not everything to be nerfed, but he was proving it that he was rendering it to hardcore in a hardcore manner. He was proving it that it could indeed be harder and harder. So with the help of a lot of the other testers that were like testing the player testers that were testing what was going on with the release, how to make it better, and some of us knowing the areas that were broken XP wise, and some players didn't want to say the areas that were broken XP wise, so that they could abuse them, exploit them because they were broken. I did a little bit of a thingy, right, Mitsuo?
Yeah, you did a little thingy.
So what
Fans
I
love
did
him.
was I ruined the fun for everyone. Okay, I'm sorry. No, but what I did is like I went to the whole game looking up the level scare areas, right? And look at this guy in game.
Yep.
The level scare areas. I found every single level scare area that was giving more experience than intended. Which let's see, in the PTR they balanced barrel point to give the amount of experience they really wanted, right? So I took that as a control group. I took that as a 0% increase or a 100% experience gain, right? 100% in barrel point.
Yep.
And all of these other areas in Kamgana Gecha, for example, there were mobs that will give you 300% experience. Mobs with the same difficulty, that's the thing. Just a slighter more HP, but the same level, or mobs in like the random adventures area where it had like they were so easy to kill, and these mobs will giving you like 250 experience, like 150 more than intended. So the system, the level scale system was really, really broken. So I compiled a list and I gave it to the devs of every single area that was completely broken, so that the players couldn't abuse it and like bypass the whole point and the whole dev vision they had. So the devs took a look at the list, make some balance, and they nerf everything.
Thank you, Fainal. Very cool. And now we'll get back to my sponsors. Could you say that again? I muted you.
I said you're welcome. Everyone is welcome.
All right. Now we have so nerf on grinding was touched in that. PTR patch notes was touched on that. All right. Class tokens to be traded for XP boosters. Yeah, I think that's a good change. I mean, why isn't that a good change? I mean, like, Fainal had 10,000. I use Fainal as an example because he is the hardest core of gamer there is, and he had 10,000 Dragon Slayer tokens, right?
Uh-huh.
It gave him 4 levels, so yikes.
Big yikes. So to
Big
give a bit
yikes.
of context, the class tokens, you were able to use them to gain XP directly. Each token will grant you 4 experience for your class rank. So you had a lot of class tokens. You can trade them for direct XP. But since the thing that Mitsuo said happened, like I had 10k Dragon Slayer tokens and it gave me no experience whatsoever, the players in the PTR are complaining about this. Well, not complaining, they bring it up. They brought it up to the devs and said that it wasn't a rewarding system. So this is a really good example of the dev listening to the players, because what they did, like, said, okay, we are rewarding 5 tokens per class rank up, except the ones when you get legendary gear. So we're going to increase that reward to 25 per class rank up. Every time you rank up, you get 25 class tokens of the class you're ranking up. And we're going to replace the experience system for class tokens to be able to buy class XP boost. And that thing was really well received by the players in the PTR, and in the players in live love it because it's so useful and so smart and rewarding.
It also allows, with ranking classes up, it also allows you to get the gear from the class shops.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a win-win.
Precisely. Win-win.
Win-win. Difficulty of it. We already kind of went over that.
Yeah.
I think it should be harder. I don't think rank 50 should have been doable in a day, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, after an initial testing from the players, the thing used to be too easy. So what made us everyone like realize what kind of vision the devs wanted for this is when they, in the second patch notes for the PTR, they pretty much fixed the whole experience curve to make it harder and more grinded, to the point like, to put it short, every time you rank up, the goalpost to get to the next rank increases, right? Let's say increases at 10% more, it becomes harder. And you also gain more experience, right? You get a little bit boost of experience every time you rank up. So each rank you gain more and more experience per mob kill. But then they made it so that the amount of total experience you need to get to the next rank is always going to be greater than the bonus experience you're getting. So that the thing is going to be balanced in a way that is always going to be harder, exponentially harder and harder and harder, which is what they pretty much which the devs pretty much nailed in live, because now people get that getting like from 50 above is really hard, and it gets harder and harder and harder.
Alright, Fainal has officially told me to put more enthusiasm into my talking, but I'm very tired. So here's what I'm gonna do. I love class ranks. Woo!
Maybe I'm too enthusiastic. I'm too enthusiastic because I drank like 3 coffees before talking.
No, if you haven't noticed, I've yawned like not because this is boring, but because I'm just actually tired. I've yawned like 10 times.
SMH.
Okay, so yeah, I was just laying in my chair, all cozy. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Okay, I think going in the future, if there is ever an update to this system, I think that I think different more rewards. You know the borders? You know how they did the borders for the Kickstarter stuff that they never did again, by the way. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know.
What?
I remember that.
So we have Hero, Guardian, Collector's Guardian, Kickstarter, Epic Founder. Make more of these. These are really cool. You click on his name, look at him, look like he has the Kickstarter. I have the Epic Founder because I'm cool. Right? But it'll look like if you had more stylish ones, you can make animated ones, because I get at the end of the day, this is a PNG. But if you click on someone's name, it's like a little glowy or a little animated thing. That would be really cool. Just like, so at rank 50, for example, if you added a thing like this, or rank 100, you added an even better one, I think it'd be even more worth it, but it's just a cosmetic set.
Precisely, yeah. No, I agree. It could happen done better. Or maybe more,
so
in a more deep manner.
Going forward, I don't know if any of the AE people watch this, but going forward, if you ever see this, alright, make the rewards slightly, just add silly rewards. It doesn't have to be serious, meaningful rewards. It doesn't have to be, if don't add stats, but instead add small titles, or add maybe slightly different gear of the same gear.
But wouldn't that be like the same as we got in here in this situation when you only got cosmetic gear? Wouldn't that be repeating the problem once again?
That would be repeating the problem, but if they don't want it to be stats, if they didn't want it, they obviously don't want it to be stat increase, or make your character stronger. At the very least, add more to it. Don't just say, hey, here's one whole set, have fun, there you go. No, add more to it. Why? There's literally no benefit from ranking one class to rank 50 to 100 besides, what does it? Would anybody care?
the title. There is a title and an achievement, but only when you reach 100. Anything between 50 and 99, you get no reward whatsoever.
Right. So why is that? What could they
Yeah.
could have added more? They could have, there could have been a lot more. They could have sat on this for a few weeks. But as
The
we
only-
explained earlier, as I stated earlier, I do think it's filler content because it just came out of nowhere.
That's true. It came out of nowhere, and the only
Yeah.
thing I can excuse for that is like it's pretty much they didn't have enough time to make it work, or they didn't think this went through, or they didn't invest the amount of time that it would have. Like most of us would like to them have invested on it, but sadly that's the reality of it. What I would like to add though is that this topic is still vibrant in the community. People are still discussing it. A lot of people are criticizing it. A lot of people are loving it. Like me, I'm having a blast doing this. But I think I'm only having a blast because I understand the implications of everything, right? I know that what they're trying to do, I already come to terms with it. But some of my friends, including Mitsuo, don't like it as much as I do, and I understand why. It could have been better. A lot of people are saying, yeah, that this was a missed opportunity once again. And to respond a little bit, like to play devil's advocate and play like a defensive role for the devs, he keeps engaging on this discussion because this was like his little baby, right? So what he says is that in the future they probably could do something more with class ranks, like giving proper rewards, more sets, maybe rewards between level 50 to 99, or anything of the like.
Here's my hypothesis, all right? In the next month, everybody you see is going to be wearing an item from one of these sets, probably the weapons, and nobody is going to get to rank 100. Maybe one. And then you're like, wow, cool, he got to rank 100. Big whoop, good for him. Like,
yeah, but that's at the same time, I mean, that's intended. The devs don't want you to grind rank 100. They want you to earn it naturally, organically while playing the game. They don't want you to grind it. So I guess maybe that's one of the reasons they didn't put more rewards on it. But at this point, I think like I'm making excuses for them, if anything.
Right. So, but what I'm trying to get at is everybody's just going to stop at rank 50. Mm-hmm. And the whole purpose of it is to get to rank 100 gradually, of course. But they're, why? Why would I ever want to do that willingly?
Exactly. So they probably should add more to it, more rewards. The other thing that I want to add to my previous point, that they said that they're probably going to add something to it, more cosmetic or more reward whatsoever, is that they're currently reworking the whole class system in the PTR. Rival Fraud and Phishing, which have a huge role, as we mentioned before, in the PTR, because these are the guys that actively listen to the community, which is something that sometimes gets a bit how do I say this? Sword. I sword again. Which is something that is usually don't acknowledge enough, right? These guys are listening to the community, to the players, that the more hardcore players that want to engage in these kind of discussions. They do listen. Like, that's why I cannot recommend enough. If you're a hardcore player or a player that cares about the mechanics of the game or the future of the game and how the game is developing, go into the PTR. Go into the PTR, test the things, give your opinions, report the bugs, give constructive criticism, always constructive, because if you just go there to trash on them, they won't listen to you. They're just going to ignore you. They won't even bother banning you or muting you. They're just going to ignore you, and everyone's going to think you're a loser. So
yeah, everyone's going to... Wait a second. That's just bias. I don't think... Listen, whoever you are, I don't think you're a loser, okay? I think you're...
But don't do that.
I think you're a winner, all right?
Don't be a loser. I think you're a loser. See, if you do that, you're a loser.
So no, if you do that, you're a hero.
No, you're not a hero.
No, you're a hero.
Okay, so be kind. You can get your points across in an objective and constructive.
So basically, what I want you to do
solid manner
is tweet at Artix, where's the server rewrite?
No, I don't care about the server rewrite.
Where is it?
Yeah, where is it, Artix? No, but what I was trying to get across is that the Ravel and Phishing and working on reworking the classes, right? So they're currently reworking warrior class and roach class. And just today, the recent patch for mage class rework, a very early introduction was released with new mechanics for mage class. Like the more time you cast a spell or you spend casting spells, the more powerful your mage become and your spells become until the time you cast a new type of spell. So those mechanics are really interesting because they're trying to increase the depth of the classes. Warrior is the same. Warrior has a new combo system. Roach was a new potion combo system. The stats are different. Warrior has like a new resource pool that's called Rage, I think.
Alpha Pirate should say the same.
Yeah, as usually. But the thing is, they're reworking the classes, right? And
Yeah.
that's an open opportunity for them to, whenever since they want to make classes with more depth on it, make them have more solid roles between each other. This is the perfect chance to them to redeem themselves and put that extra power level or that extra rewards in the class ranks themselves itself. Like, okay, get to this class rank and your warrior combo, for example, will deal slightly more damage, or if you can get a 4 combo instead of a 3 combo, you deal more damage, or your mage casting gets faster, or pretty much what it means becoming a legendary mage, a legendary warrior, a legendary roach, a legendary guardian, etc., etc. Just rewards something, and that's the only smirk of hope that I see in the future. The fact that they're reworking this, and the fact that they said they're hoping to keep adding to class ranks. It's not something that is done right now. It's not like AQW's guilds. It's not something that they will never work again. They can keep touching on this and keep retouching it and polishing it to make it perfect in the future, at least.
Yep, I would completely agree with that, and I really hope they do. We are almost at the hour mark. Anything else? I don't have anything else. Nope. All right, we're gonna let you guys vote down below, okay, for what we should talk about next week if I don't mess it up. So the options are PvP.
No, not just PvP, please. I'm not ready yet.
All right, so the options are PvP, state of the game, like as a whole, and Breaking Benjamin. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
Or maybe next week a new topic is gonna be introduced, a new discussions, just like it happened with Class 100. We weren't expecting to talk about this, but it became such a prominent topic in the community that
I'll make a poll on the community Twitter at some point this week, and we'll let them decide. If they actually care. Please care. I'm really trying, okay? Look, I know my ideas are very insane, and I know I didn't teach anybody how to use Paladin, okay? But I'm trying my best, okay?
That was a weird video. Hey, me too. Can you answer one question, though?
Yeah, what?
Do you actually have the Blinding Light of Destiny?
Do I actually have the Blinding Light of Destiny? Here, let me check my inventory. Alright, let's see. As far as I know, I believe that Zane took it. Okay.
Oh no.
Yep, it is just facts. Zane took it, okay? Not Glazelle.
People, it's canon.
Yeah, it's canon. Glazelle didn't take it, Zane took it. Okay. Alright.
Yeah.
Now, what if I made a video called What's Under Fainal's Hat?
No, that's forbidden. That's forbidden magic. I'm out. See ya.
Oh, where's he going? Oh, goodbye.
Bye-bye.